We are recording. You just need to accept that, everybody that is here. And hello and welcome to this conversation today that we are going to have with a special guest, Pamela. Pamela is a remarkable woman that I have the honor to know. And I have known and journeyed with Pamela for a couple of years now, actually. We met last year through Dr. Morris's community, and Pamela is going to share her health journey and how she came about, or how she found Dr. Morris throughout her exploration and research. But that's how we originally met last year. And Pamela embarked on a 30-day juice journey last year, which was her first one, and had very significant results. Again, I'm going to let her share. And this year, Pamela just completed another round of 30 days on juice. And so much transformation took place within those 30 days on a physical level, mentally, and the various breakthroughs that she experienced. And journeying with Pamela, for me, number one, is such a joy to witness people's transformation. And Pamela has inspired me so much, so much. Her story and of health, first of all, the world that she came out of in terms of the physical pain and the suffering and various surgeries and medications and whatnot, and where she is today is nothing but remarkable inspiration that I have witnessed. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring her on board and to have this conversation to show what is possible beyond just the profound physical transformation that Pamela has experienced and is still experiencing. What inspires me so much about Pamela is her mindset and her willingness to remain open and to explore what is possible. And I know without a shred of a doubt that it's her dedication, her focus, her perseverance, her faith, and her mindset that also have brought her to where she is now. I really want to emphasize that because it's not just, we're going to talk about the technical things that she has done with the juices and the fruits and the detox. But health is so much more than just these technical things that we do, which is, again, the reason why I felt inspired to initiate this conversation with Pamela. So you can witness what I have been witnessing every week, and just her grace, her motivation, and the way she carries herself, and her openness, as I said, her open mind and her dedication. So without further ado, Pamela, I'm going to toss it over to you, and you can start by sharing a little bit about your background and what brought you to this path of regenerative detoxification, purification, and regeneration.
Okay. Well, thank you, Noah, for that beautiful introduction. I started getting serious about my wellness journey when I was given a life-altering diagnosis in 2016 of lupus. A lot of people that are diagnosed with this type of disease is they've had like lifelong signs and symptoms of the disease. But that wasn't my story. I've, for the last 30 years, have worked in healthcare. So anything that would pop up with me, I would run to the doctor. And that's, my whole life. And so when I woke up one Saturday morning, just feeling like really, really fatigued, feeling like I had ran a marathon and I hadn't been anywhere. My joints were hurting and swelling. I began to get concerned because this was like these were symptoms that were like just slowing me down. Like I was really struggling to walk and I was hurting and it was progressing. So I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed within 2 days of going to the doctor after getting labs of having lupus, which is, what the doctor said, you have an autoimmune disease. It's pretty obvious because the symptoms that you are having are systemic. It wasn't like it was one leg or one knee. It was both legs, both knees, joints hurting on both sides of my body. And so she was like, it's clear that it's something autoimmune. Um, and at the time, I really didn't, I just thought, oh, working in healthcare and the doctor's always giving you medication or giving you something, that it would just be something that she could prescribe medication for and I would be okay. And I could see her concerns, which then made me a little bit more concerned. And then as I started telling family members and friends, I started seeing their concerns. And everybody that I would tell that I was recently diagnosed with lupus, every story that followed of someone that they knew with the disease, they were dead or dying. So I really started to get like kind of frightened about it. And I was diagnosed in the spring, and by November I was on chemotherapy. And I wasn't getting any better. Even on the chemotherapy, I wasn't getting any better. I was actually getting worse. And I could see myself deteriorating. Everybody around me was kind of worried. My children were worried. My husband was worried. And in the spring of the following year, I was on chemo for a year before I really started to wake up about this diagnosis. But in the spring of the following year, I got a message through Facebook Messenger from one of my girlfriends who was on a brand new wellness journey to try to help her son with the diagnosis of severe skin issues. She turned to a vegan diet and was following and looking into all these different avenues to try to help her son. And she sent me a link through Messenger and said, I came across this doctor at this conference, and she's talking about how when you clean up your diet, it could help regenerate new tissue and help you to get off of medication and cure yourself from disease. And so she sent me the link, and I was extremely skeptical when I got it. Googled the lady. I was actually getting ready to head out of the country to Europe, and I spent my whole flight of probably 15 hours investigating this lady, looking at all her YouTubes, just trying to figure out, okay, how likely is this true? I'm telling you, just very skeptical. And I started, you open one YouTube page and it sends you to another one, and so I started kind of investigating. I was like, maybe there's something to this. So I made a decision then in like September of 2018 to, okay, in my mind, I just couldn't fathom I would have to stop eating meat and all the things that I love, have been, just raised to eat. I'm a Southern girl and I love Southern food, and I just couldn't fathom not having, all of my Creole favorites and all that stuff. So I said, you know what I'll do? I'll try to just give up red meat. I'll stop eating red meat, see if it makes a difference. And then this lady that I was introduced to through Messenger, I purchased some of her literature. got a little bit more, dived into it a little bit deeper, but really wasn't in the mindset to change what I was doing. Even though I was gaining the knowledge, gaining the information, doing a lot of my own self-research, I still wasn't ready mentally to make a lot of the changes that she was saying I would need to make. So I slowly started doing things. I gave up the red meat, then I gave up chicken. And then I said, I'm going to be a pescatarian. And I did that for a whole year. As I began to make those small changes, I could see things happening that were positive in reference to my diagnosis, but I wasn't, I was still on a lot of medication. At the time when I was considering myself a year of being a pescatarian, I was on 17 medications a day for my lupus and still dealing with a lot of inflammation, lung issues, seeing a liver specialist for, just crazy liver enzyme levels. So all the things that I was doing was making me feel better, but internally, my labs were terrible. It was still, showing that the disease was very active in my body. And so I came across Dr. Morse and started doing some research on Dr. Morse, and started chatting a lot with my sister-in-law, who was like, we should look into this. We should try this. Um, and I got really curious about the herbs just in doing the research. So I did a consult with Dr. Morse and started doing the herbs, but really still herbs, pescatarian diet, kind of fruitarian a little bit. Never did any of the things that we're going to share in a little bit about what really helped me to get off of all that medication. And I continue to see results. And as I continue to see results, I said, I need to dig deeper. Dr. Morse definitely opened my eyes to detoxification and the importance of it, and how it would help to regenerate new cell growth. And my biggest fear in taking the next step was, can I get off of medication? And ultimately, the goal is to be healed, but would I be willing to take the risk of getting off of medication, which I felt was saving my life? And so my sister-in-law, Yvette, who's on this call, she said, I'm going to try it, Pamela. She had some issues that, maybe she'll want to share later, but that she started seeing some really good results. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to dig deeper. And I got an email notification from Dr. Morse's group to try a solid food vacation with Noa. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try it. But I mean, at the time for me, it was certainly the scariest thought that I would stop eating food and start juicing and get results. I remember in the preparation phase of starting this solid food vacation, I just kept contemplating, am I going to stop taking my medicine? Am I going to stop taking my medicine? If I stop taking my medicine, I could die. Yeah, crazy. And so I decided that I was going to stop all of my medication, and I was going to do this juice fast for 30 days. And I was terrified. I won't lie, I was extremely terrified, but I was curious. I was determined to give it a try. And I went in with like no hesitation, like, oh, I'm going to do it. I didn't think about, am I going to miss meat? Am I going to miss fish? Am I going to miss, I just like, I got to do this. I have to do this. I have to try for myself. because I was not getting, I had a still very active disease, and my labs were crazy. And I was, the doctors were wanting to keep me on these chemo medications, and I didn't want them. And so I'm like, I have nothing to lose at this point. I'll try for 30 days, see what happens. And so I began that journey a little over a year ago, and it was tough. It was definitely tough. Definitely had to be a shift in my mindset for me to be able um, to be dedicated to the process. And I found it to be fascinating. I was fascinated um, by the journey, how there were days that I was feeling great. There were days that it was rocky, with the herbs, with the juicing. It was different. It was definitely a mental battle with, even though I wasn't hungry, I knew I wasn't starving. It was just a mental battle with, are you crazy? Are you really just going to drink juice for 30 days? But as I began to see the transformation in the way that I was feeling, how at 3 weeks, I had no joint pain. I had no swelling, it was just all going away. I was like, wow, I'm on to something here. Um, the group that I was in then was it was a fairly large group, and they seemed everybody just seemed so knowledgeable about this journey that I was brand new to. And I felt a little intimidated by that. But on the flip side, I gained so much knowledge from people that have been on this journey for years, that were at a level that was just way past where I thought I could ever get to. But I was thankful that I was seeing results. I was feeling better. I felt vibrant. I felt like no pain when I was getting up. It had been like 3 years at this point of just pain and suffering and swelling, inflammation all over my body. And like, I couldn't go out in the sun anymore. I couldn't, like, all the things I love to do, boating with my family and going out to the beach. I couldn't do any of that anymore. I felt like my life was just like slipping away. But this attempt I was making to get on a wellness journey of healing, I had embarked on it, and I was seeing results, and I was elated. Um, Me and my sister-in-law would often share like weekly, just fascinating stories of, like, we can't believe that making these kinds of changes is, putting us on a path of healing, self-healing. And so I did the 30 days, um, and it was life-changing. It was definitely life-altering. Got off the medication, and 2 years later, I'm still off of it. Okay. So I started again, for eating more of I guess, a flexitarian kind of diet after the first solid food vacation, where I'm focusing more on juicing, definitely incorporating juicing in my daily journey. But dabbing in, if my kids went to Chick-fil-A, I'd get a chicken nugget. If if it caught, and let me tell you, as soon as I introduced meat back into my body, I don't care what kind of meat it was, I had a reaction to it, a negative reaction to it. So I realized that what my body was telling me, but then I would go through phases of ignoring that. And then I started having a lot of the symptoms start to flare back up. And in November, I had already put it in my mind that at the beginning of this year, I was going to start back on this journey of juicing and trying to see if I could really elevate my wellness journey. And I saw an invitation from Noa. I saw a posting on her page that she was going to do another solid food vacation, a juice feast. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, it's going to be over Thanksgiving. It's going to be over Christmas. Like, you have to have your mind prepared for something like this. But because of the way I was feeling physically, and the inflammation that I was seeing in my body and the pain that I was starting to experience again, I knew I was going to have to go cold turkey and do this for me. And that if I could make it through the holidays and start off at the beginning of the holidays, that I could, this would motivate me. And so I reached out to her, I think on the 20th of November, and on the 21st, she was actually, we were in a phase approach to starting the juice feast on December the 1st. But on the 21st, I made my mind up. Okay, today I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to put another piece of meat, animal products in my body. And I started the journey. But this time I was more excited about it. I knew what to look forward to. I knew the benefits that were going to come from this journey. And I felt I had a better understanding of it. I knew I had the support with the group, which is, that's always a plus for me. And so I approached it with a different perspective. I approached it with a different level of mental clarity. And I was excited to get to feeling better. And so starting a journey this last time, I realized that, my approach needed to be to really listen to my body, listen to what it was telling me. And that's kind of where I have found the greatest strength in enduring a journey like this, and believing that I can continue a journey like this, is really listening to my body, listening to what it wants, paying attention to how it responds when I give it good nutrition. And that, to be honest, really has kept me motivated to see how far I can go. Because my ultimate goal is to not only regenerate, but get to a place where I'm liberated from thinking about food the way we've been taught and raised to think about food. I've gained a completely different perspective about it over the last 30 days, because for me, it's a healing journey. It's a journey to make sure that I never have to get on pharmaceutical drugs again that are labeled as a prescription to save my life. I've taken this not only from a physical journey, I've taken it from a spiritual journey. I've had to pray about it. I've had to, ask, my Heavenly Father for guidance, for endurance, for wisdom. And as I tap into all of that, I'm gaining my strength, I'm gaining momentum. Definitely, I feel like I have embarked on something that will essentially help improve my quality of life and rid my body of not only lupus, but all disease. And that's what I've been experiencing. I don't know how much you want to talk about, Noah, about, the day-to-day ups and downs of this journey. But it's not easy. It's not easy. There were days when I first started the last juice feast, about 10 days in, I mean, I pulled out my detoxification pyramid and looked at, the deeper you go and what symptoms come with each level. And, about 10 days in, 10 to 15 days in, I was feeling like I had the flu. I had breakouts on my skin. I mean, my body was like going crazy. And attending the weekly calls and understanding that this was something that was really to be celebrated, made me feel like I was digging in. I was, chiseling away all the gunk and the yucky stuff. And believe me, it was yucky stuff. It was yucky stuff coming out of my pores. It was, I was eliminating yucky stuff. I got excited when I started seeing my kidneys start to filtrate again. And it was, I had my highs and my lows, but, I stuck with it. And at the end of our call last week, I think it was on Sunday, I had this like illumination, like this revelation that, I want to try 90 days. Sounds pretty scary, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I want to see how healthy, how well I can take this body that I feel like I've just, allowed to be damaged through drugs and surgeries over the years, how I can restore it back to its most vibrant health. Because I want to be healthy. I don't have to think about, my food as something that's killing me. I want to think about my food as something that's giving me life, which is what the Bible tells us. It's funny, in Genesis, God tells us in like the first book of the Bible that our food shall be our healing. And so I want to experience that my food, the food that I choose to put in my body, is giving me life. And I'm telling you, when I say listening to my body, when I drink a glass of fresh squeezed juice, I literally can taste the life in it. And when I choose to put other things in my body that are not alive, I feel immediately what it's doing to my body. So, that's been my journey. I feel like I'm just starting it. This is just a beginning for me. But I'm so thankful that I've had the tenacity to endure it. I've been willing to continue to grow and learn, and remain curious about how I can continue to improve my health. And so that's kind of where I am. I feel like a baby. I'm in my infancy stages of regenerative detoxification, but I feel hopeful that I'm going to get where I ultimately want to be.
Thank you, Pamela. You said it.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Indeed.
That was awesome. Thank you for sharing, Pam. You're motivating me.
Great. This is why we are doing it.
Yeah.
Very so wonderful. And Pamela, I love that you said right there at the end, the tenacity, because that's so you. The tenacity, like you said in our call last week, that you are a gladiator, no doubt about it. Yeah. And Pamela, I would love for you to share also, because I know that was very scary for you, especially during the first solitude vacation we did last year, the non-consumption, what we call dry fasting or water fasting. Could you share about that? Because I know that was a very profound experience for you this time around, right? Completing 24
yes, it
hours
was.
and mentally and having less of the fear. So I'd love for you to share about that and your experience with it as well.
Yeah. Dry fasting is to me, it's, I understand it now. So I kind of get tickled when I mention it to people and the reaction that you get, like, what do you mean dry fasting? Or you're not going to eat anything. You're not going to drink anything. You're not going to take a bath. And when I dry fasted, I dry fasted. I didn't do the soft dry fast. I did the hard dry fast. The first time I did the soft one, which was, I remember hearing that and no, it's like, I would like to challenge you guys to try dry fasting. It's not, mandatory, but I want you to try it. Carrie's on the call. I sent her some literature about it about a week ago, and she was like, "What do you mean dry fasting?" I'm like, "Nothing." She had never heard the term. Most people that I know, they never heard the term. The first time I ever heard it was the first juice feast that we did a year ago, and so everybody decided, most of the group decided that they were going to pick a day and dry fast, and I felt a little like you're the chicken in the group if you don't try it. You should at least try it. So I thought, I'm gonna try it. My sister Teresa's on the call. She did the juice feast with me a year ago, and she was like, I don't know, I'm not ready for that. And I'm like, let's at least try it. I tried it. I started it. I'm telling you, every hour that passed, I was like, whew, I made it through an hour. I made it through another hour. I was like, I tormented myself through it. And I had to find ways to keep my mind busy. And I remember thinking, you know, there's no way I'm going to make it all night and all day tomorrow until 3 o'clock. Cause I remember starting it at 3 o'clock the first time in the afternoon. There's no way I'm going to make it. And I did make it. And it's almost like, I could say the first time was almost like I was detoxing my mind. It's like a detox of just crazy thoughts. I'm rationalizing with myself and I'm like, this is torture. Like, this is torture. But I remember the people that did it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Some people in the group, they did it like they were up to 7 days. I think one guy did like 21 days or something crazy like that. And I was like, this is unbelievable. But he talked about how what he was experiencing and how his body was regenerating and how all of these negative thoughts and just the negativity was like just being detoxed from going through this process. I was so thankful that I had just made it through the first 24 hours. That was just like, that was the biggest achievement. So on the most recent solid food vacation, Noah, I don't even think you mentioned that you just said, maybe you guys should incorporate it, but she didn't make it a part of the protocol. She encouraged us to try it, but I was eager at that point. Second time around, I'm like, I want to do it because I saw the benefits. I noticed that when I did the dry fast the first time, it was just a lot more elimination. Just it was just so many wonderful benefits. I felt rejuvenated to a different level after I did the dry fast. So this go round, I was like, oh, I'm going to do a dry fast tomorrow. It was like, oh, great. But I was excited about it. And when I did it while I was on Christmas vacation with my family. And my daughter, who's in medical school, gave me the side eye like, what? Are you not going to eat or drink for how long? And my son, who has been watching TikToks, decided he was going to do a 3-day water fast because he has a new diagnosis of diabetes. So he's like, he did a water fast. He's like, Mom, you could do it. You could do it. So he was encouraging me to do the dry fast. And my daughter we were all in the same hotel room and she's like, you're crazy. You're crazy. I did it. I'm like, I'm going to start it at 6 o'clock. I'm going to do it. When I tell you the second time around, it was an absolute breeze. And 100% of it was because my mind set changed. And I had already experienced the benefits of it. And I was excited. I was excited about it because by this time when I decided to do the dry fast, I was already like on day 20 of the juice feast. So to prepare myself for it this go round, which I didn't do initially the first time, was I started intermittent fasting for like 16 hours leading up to the day that I decided to do it. And that really, for me, I think it helped ease me into it. And it helped to shift my mindset that I wasn't going to be starving, and that I was doing all these great things to really help my body. And all I could think about, mentally was that during this time, my body's going to be, shedding all these old dead cells, and it's going to be regenerating new cells. And I'm going to, at the end of this 24-hour dry fast, I'm going to have some brand new, clean, shiny cells to help me live a more, symptom-free life. So I was excited about it. And to tell you the truth, I've pretty much made up in my mind that every week I'm going to at least dedicate one day to doing a dry fast. And I hope to one day get up to more than just 24 hours, but it's a start. Like I said, for me, this is an infancy process. And one day I'll be strong enough to endure more than that. But I'm excited about what I've experienced, how I know it's helping me, and it's going to just be a part of the journey moving forward.
Amen. Amen to that. And Pamela, since you've already mentioned your family members, I would love for you to share about how you navigated through the doubts, and especially that you have a daughter that is coming from a medical background. How did you navigate, and how do you navigate through that, and being kind of like I mean, you still have people. It sounds like your sister and your sister-in-law, your son is coming more on board, but in general, you are kind of like the weird one that is doing this. So how do you navigate through that?
Definitely the weird one, Noah. I have had to really make up in my mind that this is a self-care journey for me. I've had to really keep that in the forefront of my mind. I have a lifestyle that that's very social, travel a lot, entertain a lot, always, having, invitations for dinner and meeting up and just, spending good quality time with family and friends. It's always 100% of the time surrounded by food. And not just rarely any juice on the table, rarely any fruit on the table, rarely any salads on the table. A salad is like, why did you buy a salad? Like, that's the kind of family I've grown up in. That's the kind of friends I have. When we get together, it's like, it's a feast, but with all the wrong things. So I had to start thinking about, how am I going to navigate this? This is, to be honest with you, it is the most challenging part of this journey still to this very moment, because most people are very skeptical in my family that anything like this is regenerative, or it's going to help heal, or it's going to rid your body of disease. Every single person is skeptical. And the biggest challenge I've had to make or adjust is my husband and I are empty nesters. We don't cook at home anymore. It's rare, maybe one day a week, and we travel a lot. And so I'm like, how am I going to just like not go to dinner when it's so normal to just get off of work? He gets off of work and we just go to dinner. We meet up at dinner. And I'm like, okay, I gotta shift from that. For me to be successful at this, I have to shift from that. I have to be prepared. I have to do what I have to do to take care of Pamela. And that has been the biggest challenge on this journey. Because for me and my husband to go out to dinner, it's like a date night. So if Pamela's not going to go out to dinner, then I feel like I'm cheating him of spending quality time with me. So we've had to make adjustments. We have to, you know, it's funny because he'll say, I'm going to go get me something to eat, and he'll pick me something up at a juice bar. You know, that's our new norm. He'll go get me a smoothie versus me getting me a Happy Meal, you know? And so, or he'll say, you know what? He thinks about the restaurants we go to now. He'll say, you know what? We're not going to go there because there's not going to be anything that you can eat there. That's a win. It's a win, but I still have to work on not feeling guilty about it. And I'm still in this battle with, you know, I can tell you that everybody in my family is unhealthy. Everybody has a diagnosis of something. You know, what runs in my family is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, cancer, diabetes is huge. My dad lost all 10 of his siblings from diabetes or cancer. And it's huge. So and I'm from a big family. It's 7 of us. Every single person has something wrong with one of those diagnoses. And every single person that I try to encourage to change the journey, to try this, get off the medication, it's usually a debate. Or they look at me like I'm crazy. So I really have to tell, you know, the biggest advocate in the family is my sister-in-law, who understands the journey because she's experienced it. She's fighting her battle with her family. I'm fighting it with mine. But I have really come to the resolution that I can't give that energy away to somebody that's not ready. I have to reserve it for myself who's ready, and continue to encourage. Definitely they see the change that's happening, so they become a little bit more curious, but I still don't reserve my energy to fight that battle, because I tell people this is not easy. You have to be ready mentally. It's not easy, but I do encourage them. I got a phone call yesterday, which I was tickled by and both flattered. One of my cousins, she said, I've seen pictures of you recently. What filter are you using? Because you look younger, thinner, you look healthier. Like, what filter or app are you using? I was tickled.
Ain't that something? Oh,
I was totally tickled. But they see the change that's happening. And when I say it's from me really just going on a solid food vacation, I've stopped chewing to get my nutrition, and I'm getting it through juicing and fruits. They're very skeptical, but to tell you the truth, Noah, I'm not going to stop trying to encourage, but I can't fight everybody's battle. And that's, to me, it's kind of like, it's sad, because you know what? As I see myself clean up my body, I can now spot, you know, on different family members, like I could see the inflammation, I could see the toxicity. And it breaks my heart, but I just I can't live in that space of fighting them, because I'm fighting for my life right now.
Well, you are winning your life. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Big, big, big win. Yeah. And you can see what I'm talking about, just Pamela's mindset and focus is so inspiring, just absolutely inspiring. And humility, you come with so much humility and open-mindedness, and the curiosity is what is so precious, about you. Yeah, that's amazing. And Pamela, what would you say? I know there are so many, but what would you say, if it's not one, then anywhere from 1 to 3, most potent, would you say, profound breakthroughs that you had after this solidification, because it was your second one?
I had a lot more mental clarity. This was definitely tougher, Noah, for me the second go round, from a physical standpoint, because I dug deeper with this last one. I incorporated the probably 2 weeks in, I started doing the intermittent fasting, and so that and then adding the herbs, and plus the intermittent fasting, and then incorporating the dry fast. It took the detox deeper. I was more serious. And so I had a lot more mental clarity on what I need to do. Like I shifted from I got to do this to I want to do this. And like that happened. I felt an alignment happen with, I stopped battling with my mind about it, and that to me has been the most profound. Like there's no more battle in my mind about it. I'd say the first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, if I could just get to 30 days, I could have my favorite meal. I can go get a king crab at my favorite restaurant. That's how I, perceived it mentally the first time. This time it's like, man, if you can do this, when you do it, you're going to rid yourself of this disease. You're going to rid yourself of pain and suffering. You're going to rid yourself of inflammation in your body every day. Like it was just like all cylinders are firing, like ding, 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 ding. This is it. This is it. This is it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Which is why I'm like eager to do the 90 days, because I'm like, I know when I do the 90 days, there's no turning back. Like, because my mind there has aligned with where it needs to be to take this level to another level, which is where I've been on this journey since 2017. And it's taken me this long to get my mind aligned that this has to be the way. This is the way. You got this. So that, for me, the mental clarity that I got it. It took some suffering to get there.
Yeah. Empowerment, right?
Yes.
Just feeling more empowered. Yeah. So what would you tell people that are listening to you now here on the Zoom and later on the recording, that are feeling inspired? They hear you and they feel super inspired. Maybe they do have a lot of health issues like your background. Maybe they don't have that many, but they feel inspired and they want to embark on 90 days or even 30 days, but they're on the fence. So if somebody would come to you and say like, wow, Pamela, that's really inspiring. I want to do it, but I'm scared, or I'm not sure it's for me. What would you tell that person?
I saw a movie the other day. It was on the weekend. I saw a movie called The Hustle with what's that guy that was in that movie, honey? I don't remember. I can't remember his name. It's called The Hustle. And he's a coach of a basketball team. He's an assistant coach of a basketball team, and he went to Spain to recruit this basketball player. And it was Adam Sandler. Very great movie. It's a great, great, great movie. Very motivational. And he just recruited a guy off the street to play basketball. And he tried to bring him to the United States to get him in the NBA league. And the guy just blew his opportunity. But there were people there that saw his potential. And so they took extra steps to really like give him one more chance. And so he was like, he told Adam Sandler in the movie, he was like, I just don't know if I want to do this. Like, what if I mess up? And he said, how can you mess up if they've already written you off as dead? And he's like, so all you got to do from there is come up. You already in their minds, you're dead. And so if I got to tell anybody this, listen, there's a whole story around what conversations I have to have with my healthcare providers, which we didn't discuss, because I talked to them about this, but they have written me off for dead. So this is your chance to find and renew your health in a way that you've maybe never tried. There's nothing to lose when you're picking up prescription medications at the pharmacy every week. There's nothing to lose when you have to take pills every day. When on the flip side of that, you could be gaining and regaining your health without all of that. So it's like, that's all I can think about from that movie. It's like, healthcare industry. I was in hospital administration. No, I don't know if I've ever shared that. So my job was to make sure that the bottom line for that hospital, that organization, was being met. And it wasn't from how many people we can save their lives. It's how many people we can get to come back for the next appointment or the next surgery or the next procedure. That's how we made money. That's how we make money. So when you look at the flip side of it, and if you're truly on a wellness journey, you have nothing to lose by trying this to gain your health back. And then, it's such a personal journey, it's something that you have to make your mind up about. But if you're willing to do it and you're willing to try it, the rewards that you will reap, the harvest that you will reap from the seeds that you plant today and feeding your body life, you will gain in return. That's the harvest you'll reap. You're going to reap life, a healthy, vibrant life. That's my motivational speech.
Amen. Amen, sister, 100%. And speaking of the harvest, if you could briefly share what you shared at the beginning before we start recording of just what you discovered today, because that is a testament. I mean, Pamela already shared the immense and profound transformation she had with her health and getting off the meds and the way she's feeling. But that story that you shared with us at the beginning, I would love for you to share.
So in the middle of September, I noticed a spot on my left breast, and I've never had any issues. There's no history of breast cancer in my family. But the spot was, it's like $50 size. It's like this big.
Pamela, was that September of 2022?
Yeah, this September.
Okay.
Yeah, a few months ago. And it happened right before I was getting ready to go on a 3-week vacation to Europe. And so I was like, I'm not gonna, I can't worry about this before I go on vacation. But something, I was like, you know what, I better go and get it checked out, just so I can enjoy my vacation and I don't be freaked out. So I reached out to my my OBGYN. He sent me an order to get a diagnostic mammogram done. And when I went to the hospital to get it done, the radiologist said, this may, be nothing. There's no lump. We can't find it. Your mammogram is negative, but it may be something you need to follow up on if it's still there in 4 to 6 weeks. So went on vacation, was gone for a month, came back. This thing is getting like angrier. It's, it's becoming more profound. You could see it. My husband's expressing his concerns. And so I went ahead and went in to see the doctor. I saw the doctor in November, the beginning of November. And he did a physical exam and he said, you know what, there's something different about that spot. The tissue is different, and I want you to go to the breast center and see a specialist. And so I'm going to send your records over. The breast center calls me back and they're like, about 3-4 days later, and they're like, we got your records. We want to send you straight to a surgeon, like a breast surgeon, to get a biopsy. Because it definitely has to be biopsy. And so I went ahead and scheduled the biopsy. I scheduled my consultation with the surgeon, which was today. I refused to I just put it in the back of my mind. To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, I thought, okay, I'm going to step out on faith. And if I'm really detoxing and I'm regenerating new cells, if this is anything I need to be worried about, it's going to regenerate. And that's how I was thinking. I'm not going to worry about it. I just put it in the bucket of this journey I'm on that's going to heal me. This is going to get fixed too. So last night before I went to bed, I said, I haven't even looked at it since I've been, to be honest, I haven't looked at it since I've been doing this juice feast. And I'm like, I don't even know if it's still there, if the spot is still there. So I get up this morning, go look at my breast, and it's gone. But I got this biopsy consultation scheduled for today. So I showed my husband, and I took pictures of it. We knew where it was. You can faintly see it where it was. I called my sister-in-law this morning. I was telling about it. She was like, girl, that was parasites. Those things are gone. That's why they're gone. Parasites are gone. The spot's gone. You should rejoice from your body self-healing, whatever. So I did go to the doctor this afternoon at 3:00, and they did a biopsy on it. And he literally had to look at my picture to see where it was, so he knew where to take the tissue from so that he could test it. He said, this is not anything that we want to just ignore, but he said, I think whatever was going on has healed itself. It's resolved itself, is what he said. And I don't think you should be concerned about anything. So I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. It's amazing, to see what the body can do when you do the body right. Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing, Pamela. Which that's the motivation that you have about the 90 days, huh? Just to see what else is possible.
Yeah. There's still a lot of work to do, Noah. There's definitely still a lot of work to do. I just want to continue to elevate my mind, elevate my body to the highest level of vitality that it can experience. I've done all things wrong the first part of my life. And for the latter part of my life, I want to do all things right when it comes to my health.
Thank you for doing that, for choosing to do that. Yeah, beautiful. Wondering if anyone that is here on the call now, if you have any questions for Pamela or for me, for both of us, but mainly for Pamela, before we sign off on this live today, or questions or anything that you would love to share with Pamela as a reflection. You can go ahead, Carrie. No, go ahead, Carrie.
I wanted to know, how do you get started? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
How do you get started?
Started on the juice fast. Just where do you start and how do you?
You just you gotta make your mind up and say, today is the day I'm gonna do this for myself. And you just, like Pamela said, you just step out on faith.
Yeah.
And you go and load up on fruit, and you come back home and you make sure you got a good juicer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. You got to make sure you got one of the masquerated juicers.
Yes.
Pamela got one. I got one, and you you have to do it for yourself. It's not for
Mhm.
anybody else. It is for yourself.
I,
Like
I
like
I I believe I'm ready to get started, but I guess I asked the question wrong. Like the recipes, how do you know what to juice, or do you just go and just juice what you have a taste for? That, I guess that's my question. Is it a something that you can go by, or
Yeah, so let me answer that, Carrie. First, I can share. You are in the Facebook group, Carrie, in the
no? I don't
Revitalize.
have
Oh,
Facebook. I
you don't
guess
have
I'm gonna have to
Facebook.
go. Mm-mm,
You don't
mm-mm,
have
I'm gonna have to.
Facebook. But what I can do, I could share those videos, or you can just go to my YouTube because I do have.
Okay, I do. I can get on YouTube.
Yes, I do have videos. Last year, I completed 93 days, and I have a couple of videos about the practical aspects of a longer extended solitude vacation that you can go there. And there will be another group. Like if you want to have a group support like Pamela did, there will be a group going on a 90-day solitude vacation starting in a month, basically. So that's
Okay,
that's where you have the guidance, where you have the preparation and all of that. But if you
okay.
just want to start like tomorrow, then just watch the videos. There's a lot of information online. That's the beautiful thing about the online world. And
Okay.
you can
I'm
find
gonna have to.
lots of information. But yeah, good juicer is number one, to invest in a good
I
juicer.
I, I have a new juicer that's been sitting here maybe a year now that I have not opened, but I do want to get. Uh, it's one that's I think it's about 3 something or 500. I can't think of the name of it, but it's been around for a long time and it's very good because you can do cold stuff in it. Starts with a V and I can't think of the name of it, but
Okay.
wanted to get that one.
Okay, fantastic.
I
So
can, can I share, Noah?
yes, go ahead.
Carrie, when I started this journey, I knew nothing. I had nothing. I didn't have a juicer. I had no recipes. I had no clue of what to juice. I had
Yeah.
never juiced anything at all, ever, before I started the first time. But the information that I was given in the group setting helped to prepare me for the journey. And it's gotten easier. It's definitely something that you have to prepare for. You have to
Yeah.
be prepared during the journey for it. But I was so naive. So, as long as you follow the protocol, if you're going to do the group setting,
Yeah.
um, it's gonna be so much easier.
I'd probably be ready to do it next month. If you have one that's starting next month, I will probably, because like you say, you got to get your mind ready. And I
Mm-hmm.
have juiced before. I have done intermittent fasting, and I have, spiritually done the fast, like you saying with the dry fast. And I want to get up to that point where you are, Pamela. But like you say, it's a mindset, so you do have to change your mind and make up your mind that you want to do this. So I think I want to do it next month to give my time, myself time to try to get my mind prepared for it.
All right, Carrie, that makes me happy.
Yeah, I need to, because I have a lot of problems going on, a lot of inflammation in my body as well, Pam, and I just refuse to take the meds. So that, I give, and I'm so happy, and that's really a testimony, an awesome testimony that you just gave.
God gets all the glory. He
Yes,
led me,
thank
he
you.
led me to the light. He definitely led me to
Yeah,
the
so I
light.
thank God for you for sharing that. And hi, Yvette. I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to you. It's good seeing you.
Yes, same here.
Carrie,
Yes.
I'm in the chat. I'm going to put my email address. So just go ahead
Okay.
and email me, okay? And
Okay.
we can chat outside of this.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sending it right now in the chat. So just copy that and send me an email. And then we'll take it
Okay,
from
just
there.
1 second. I'm gonna take. Bear me just 1 second.
Yeah.
I was gonna take a picture of it. Hold on. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions that you might have for Pamela, or anything you'd like to share? Those that are here now live. Okay. So Pamela, any closing words?
I would say that if this is something that you're thinking about, well, if you're on this chat, you're definitely thinking about it. You know, you've been led here, and I believe everything is kind of in divine order.
Yeah.
Listen to what your body is telling you. Take it serious, and put yourself first on your list. You know, I know as wives, mothers, women in general, you know, I can speak personally to say that it's just something that I don't do. I don't by nature put myself first, but learn how to put yourself first, learn how to believe in yourself, um, invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in your health. And the last thing I'll say is take a bet on yourself that if you take this journey, you're going to win. You're going to win it. You want to say something, honey? Oh, my husband wants to say something.
I just want to say I'm very proud of my wife. The successes that she's had with this, and I could see, you know, she's doing a lot better. I was right there with her when she was taking all those medications and, you know, having to especially on the, you know, those really strong drugs, and it's good to see where she is now.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to see she's doing a lot better.
Yeah. Winnie, thank you, honey.
You will.
So you need to
Thank
join
God.
us. You need to join us, Fawn.
All right.
One step at a time. Stefan, thank you for chiming in and
That is awesome.
for adding
Yeah.
to this beautiful conversation. You've got a remarkable woman by your side, and thank you for the support that you've been providing.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah. Well, Pamela, thank you so much for sharing today.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure and a delight, and for the inspiration that you gave me and everyone else that is here now and is going to be watching this later. So thank you. There's the ripple effect of this, as you know, is immense.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you for all the guidance.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. We shall meet again soon.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ladies.
God bless everybody.
Bye.
God
Bye-bye.
bless. Bye-bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.